Corpy's gold discovery. Deep in the wilds of Lapland, a former Finnish soldier named Corpy has decided to leave the war behind. He's with his loyal dog and a strong horse, determined to find gold by the river. He keeps digging until he finds a tiny bit of gold, which tells him he's in the right spot. Corpy starts digging many holes, ignoring the planes flying overhead towards the war he wants no part of. After days of digging, he finally finds a lot of gold. Tears of happiness fill his eyes. He breaks the large chunk into many smaller pieces and hides them in his tent. He stays awake all night to make sure no one steals his treasure. The next morning, Corpy puts all the gold in a bag and rides off on his horse, with his dog close behind. First encounter with Nazis. A few hours later, he runs into a group of Nazi soldiers led by General Bruno. They have a dangerous tank and a truck full of kidnapped women. One soldier, Wolf, is taking advantage of the women. Corpy rides past them, exchanging a look with Bruno. Wolf wants to shoot Corpy, but Bruno stops him, thinking Corpy is just riding to his death. As Corpy continues, he sees bodies left by the Nazis, but isn't bothered by the gruesome sight. Soon, he meets another truck with 4 more soldiers who order him to get off his horse. The soldiers check his bags and find the gold, but Corpy was smart and told his dog to run away earlier. One soldier tries to shoot the dog, but the quick animal avoids the bullet. Another soldier calls Corpy Grandpa and tries to shoot him too. Corpy quickly grabs his knife and stabs that soldier in the head, killing him. The other soldiers try to get revenge and fight Corpy hand to hand. He's very skilled with his knife, even using their bodies as shields when guns are fired. He beats one soldier with his helmet. When the last soldier attacks from behind, Corpy twists his arm and uses the soldier's own gun to kill him. The chase begins. Bruno and the others hear the gunfire and come back to find all the dead soldiers, but Corpy is gone. Bruno checks one of the bodies and finds a hidden gold nugget in the soldier's pocket, which makes him decide to chase after Corpy. Soon after, the Nazis find Corpy on the road, and the tank starts shooting at him. Corpy makes his horse gallop faster, barely dodging each shot, but he accidentally rides into a minefield. Bruno tells his men to stop shooting, sure that Corpy will die in the minefield, and that victory will be easy. Corpy's horse takes the blast, leaving Corpy injured but alive. Confused, he says goodbye to his horse and gets ready to fight back. As the Nazis get closer, Corpy quickly picks up the gold. Bruno sees this and stops his vehicle, letting Corpy gather the gold without risking his own men. With the gold in hand, Corpy also grabs a rock. Bruno orders his soldiers to fire. Corpy throws the rock at a mine, causing an explosion that creates a lot of smoke, giving him cover. When the Nazis start shooting, Corpy uses his gold panning plate as a shield. After a few minutes of wild shooting, Bruno sends a young soldier to find Corpy, but the soldier steps on a mine and is killed. Bruno then sends 2 more soldiers to go around the sides of the road, but they also step on mines and die. When the smoke clears, the Nazis realize Corpy has disappeared. Determined to find him, Bruno orders 2 kidnapped women to walk in front of the vehicles as a safety measure. Bruno searches the area and finds Corpy's dog tag. The group moves forward, with the 2 captured women walking ahead of the vehicles. The legend of Corpy. Bruno uses the tank's radio to ask headquarters about Corpy. He gets shocking news. His superiors tell him to stop chasing Corpy and be glad they're not dead already. It turns out Corpy was the most feared soldier in Finnish history, known as a relentless and vengeful fighter who answered to no one. He lost his home and family to the Russians during the Winter War. After that, Corpy became a powerful force. He was a solitary killer. He was known as Koshai the Immortal. Despite this news, he's determined to find Corpy because he hopes the gold will save him from punishment. Corpy's persistence. Corpy keeps going until he finds a burned truck with a dead body inside. He uses it for cover and treats his wounds, pulling out bullets with his knife and covering the cuts with dirt. Suddenly, his dog appears again, watching Corpy from a distance, showing how loyal it is. After falling asleep, Corpy wakes up suddenly a few hours later when he hears noise. The Nazis have arrived with trained dogs to track Corpy's scent. Corpy quickly hides under the burned truck, watching the Nazis pass by with their dogs hot on his trail. He waits for the last truck to come by, then quietly slips underneath, holding onto the truck's bottom. Corpy pokes a hole in the fuel tank. Gasoline spills out, messing up the dog's ability to smell his scent. The soldiers stop to plan a new strategy, giving Corpy a chance to escape. The dogs spot him and bark. A soldier shoots Corpy in the leg, but he keeps going. Bruno then releases the dogs to chase him. Not afraid, Corpy bravely strikes a match, setting his gasoline-soaked clothes on fire, which scares the dogs away. The soldiers chase Corpy, who dives into a nearby lake. Bruno tells his men to wait for Corpy to come up for air, but Corpy can hold his breath for a very long time. Finally, when Corpy's head appears, the soldiers open fire.
Believing they've succeeded, 3 soldiers get into a boat to get the gold. But as soon as one soldier jumps into the water, Corpy attacks him from behind, killing him with his knife. Only blood appears on the surface, and Bruno orders the second soldier to jump in. With blood surfacing again, the scared third soldier hesitates, trying to escape in the boat. Wolf sees this as betrayal and shoots him. Corpy uses the dead soldier's body as a shield, allowing him to escape while the soldiers shoot, without aiming. Corpy's loyal dog appears, wanting to follow its master, but the water stops it. After hours of difficult travel, Corpy finally reaches the nearest town, only to be heartbroken to see it on fire against the night sky. Overwhelmed, he rests inside a destroyed gas station. The pain in his leg makes it hard to rest, bringing back memories of the day he lost his family. Just as he's about to fall asleep, a dog's barking wakes him up. He comes out of his hiding spot and is reunited with his loyal dog, only to find a lit stick of dynamite tied to its collar. Acting fast, he removes it and throws it away, but the explosion is still dangerously close, knocking Corpy to the ground. Caught, but not broken. Then Bruno, Wolf, and Schutze find him. They bring a rope to tie him to a signpost. Corpy stays silent, earning respect as a tough enemy. Schutze takes off his hat, followed by Bruno and Wolf. Before they leave with the bag of gold, Bruno taunts Corpy by leaving a gold nugget in his pocket. After the Nazis leave, Corpy remains unyielding. He steps on a nail attached to the signpost to support his weight. He even pushes his wounded leg onto a second nail. The pain is terrible, but it keeps him alive through the night, with his loyal dog faithfully by his side. By morning, a plane lands near the gas station, shaking the sign and causing Corpy to fall to the ground. 2 pilots get out, looking for fuel. One of them finds Corpy and his barking dog. The second pilot tells him to shoot both of them, but when he hesitates, Corpy kicks the man's legs, making him fall and hit his head, killing him. The dog's constant barking makes the first pilot investigate, giving Corpy a chance to ambush him from behind with a brick. Believing all hope is lost, Corpy buries the nugget Bruno left him. However, the second pilot starts to move, showing he's still alive. Recognizing that the pilot could be useful because of his plane, Corpy takes back the gold and makes a plan. As the horrified pilot watches, Corpy painfully removes all bullets and foreign objects from his wounds, burns them closed with fire, seals them with wire, and cleans them with gasoline. Together, Corpy and the pilot leave in the plane, sadly leaving the faithful dog behind. The final confrontation. Later, the Nazis find a crashed plane blocking the road. Wolf and Schutze cautiously approach the aircraft and find the dead pilot inside. To their surprise, they find Wolf's rope wrapped around the pilot's neck. Bruno understands Corpy's trap and realizes how dangerous he is, so he immediately tells his men to leave. 2 soldiers go with the women in the truck, and Ino chuckles in what hundreds of Russians died trying to do, saying that Corpy isn't truly immortal, but he simply refuses to give up. In Finnish, this is called SISU, a word for unwavering courage and incredible determination. With Corpy's strong spirit, Ino predicts all the Nazis will die eventually. 1 soldier falls lifeless, and the other is pulled out of the truck and crushed under an approaching tank. Ino tries to grab the fallen soldier's weapon, but Corpy quickly gets onto the truck and takes it before her. Realizing these are prisoners, he lets Ino keep the weapon. Corpy kills the driver by stabbing him through the roof, then pulls the dead body out for Ino to take control of the wheel. They drive the truck closer to the tank, allowing Corpy to jump onto it. When the people in the tank become suspicious, the girls use the dead body to trick them. Ino drives the truck next to another one, carrying most of the soldiers, and the girls quickly open fire, killing them all, while Aino kills the driver. As the truck swerves off the road, the tank's occupants notice the danger and speed up. Corpy stays on top of the tank and hammers the door with his pickaxe until the tank suddenly breaks, sending him tumbling. Wolf comes out of the tank, determined to shoot Corpy, but Corpy quickly climbs back on top of the tank, where he fights Wolf fiercely hand to hand. After trading a series of brutal punches, the 2 fighters fall to the ground, leaving only Bruno and Schutze in the tank. Corpy lands several more blows blows on Wolf, but before he can deliver the final strike, two more soldiers arrive on a motorcycle. Recognizing the legendary Corpy, they flee in fear. Corpy quickly takes the motorcycle and chases the tank. Wolf thinks he has escaped, but the vengeful women suddenly appear, seeking revenge. The tank stops to meet a pilot in his working plane, but there's only room for one person. Without hesitation, Bruno kills Schütze and escapes with the pilot in the plane. Corpy arrives on the motorcycle, immediately opening fire. He only manages to shatter the plane's windows before takeoff. He positions the motorcycle beneath the plane, holding his pickaxe. Bruno looks down, thinking they've left Corpy behind, unaware that the motorcycle is empty. Holding onto the plane with his pickaxe, Corpy moves dangerously, almost falling off, but he manages to grab onto a wheel. He slowly makes his way inside by making a hole in the bomb room's floor with his pickaxe. Hearing strange noises, Bruno ignores the pilot's excuse that the plane is old and goes to investigate. Corpy lunges at Bruno as soon as he opens the door, starting a fierce fight. Their punches and kicks are brutal, with Corpy showing better skill. Frustrated that Corpy won't give up or scream, Bruno uses a static line to hit him harder, asking why Corpy won't die. When Bruno tries a quick blow with the line's metal end, Corpy catches it with his hand and attaches it to the bomb before letting go. Bruno falls with the bomb, and when it hits, the explosion engulfs them both. Corpy is exhausted and longs for a rest, but the plane starts shaking violently, sending him falling towards the ground. It turns out the pilot died from a gunshot wound he got earlier. Corpy grabs the bag of gold and straps himself in tight just before the plane crashes into a swamp, causing another explosion. A Finnish army unit gets ready for an attack as they see a German tank coming. However, to their surprise, it's Aino and the girls, with Wolf tied to the cannon. Back at the swamp, the water helped Corpy survive the crash. He manages to climb out with his trusty pickaxe, still holding the bag of gold. Several days later, Corpy arrives in Helsinki on the Nazi motorcycle with his loyal dog. He boldly enters the bank, causing fear among the people there. With a determined look, he empties the bag of gold onto the front desk and asks for large bills, explaining they'll be easier to carry because they're lighter.
Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel for more interesting movie recaps like this.